It's very clear that we are in this historical inflection point where macro and micro analysis, technological forces, blockchain, it's all converging, and it's creating this massive fundamental shift in how value is stored, how value is moved, how we transact across the globe. And I think into 2026, a lot of this is going to become very visible. Also important to note that we do see a lot of financial institutions quietly behind the scenes running into real resources, commodities. And I think it's also a geopolitical lever. And you could take Venezuela for an example of that. Bitcoin and just crypto overall is decoupling from the stock market, right? Essentially what that means is you're having a decoupling of an entire new asset class that no longer relies on debt or fiat-based instruments. And that's where it gets very interesting, because if you look a bit closely at this and how the entire ecosystem is evolving, I think when real-world commodities, that's gold, silver, platinum, other assets, oil too, when you combine that with blockchain, the utility eventually, with regulation, is going to become independent of debt-based pricing mechanisms. And that's when the whole game is, it changes the dynamics of the conversation entirely. So I'm trying to think a little bit bigger about this, and going into 2026, I think a lot of this is going to become very clear. And if I'm not mistaken, the Clarity Act, you're going to have clarity in January sometime. So we'll see how that plays out. A few things to note real quick. What you see happening in precious metals is a signal, right? It's a signal for urgency. The all-time high of gold was actually 44.85. All right. So everyone keeps saying it broke 400, but still very close. The fact that it's breaking new all-time highs, that's a signal. Okay. It's anticipating a lot of money printing coming into 2026, something we talked about last week. There is no other alternative. It's the QE policy that you say is really theatrics. It's the Treasury who's making all the calls behind the scenes. And there's actually a merging between the central banks and the Treasury Department, and you have a massive consolidation phase happening behind the scenes. So regardless, this new framework that we've talked about for many years in this ecosystem is certainly going to have an intersection between commodities and digital infrastructure. That's what blockchain does. It opens up the door to allow this to become a reality. Okay. Anything is possible, really. It's all about the governance behind the technology. Now, even silver is experiencing a massive breakout, and it's breaking I think a 75-year trend. You're seeing, you're going to see major historic rallies. Platinum also, it's very overlooked. I was told by Rick